In the first patch, I added two new oscillators, one with a sawtooth wave and one with a sine wave. I adjusted the frequencies to harmonic intervals for some of the presets so that I could clearly differentiate between each of the envelopes. This patch works by sending a signal through a bang that applies the envelope to the chosen frequency and oscillator wavetype via the multiplication object. From here, the waves run into a fader, giving the user control over the volume as well as starting and stopping the sound coming out of the digital audio converter. While the user can hit the bang button and initiate the sequence at any time, there will be no sound from the patch unless they click the Start Window message box. The preset box in this patch allows the user to choose from different preset envelope shapes and frequency values. Should the user choose to forego these, they can clear the envelope by using the clear message and draw envelopes as well as adjust the frequency by themselves. The second patch functions by sending a bang through 6 different message boxes at the same time. There are 3 messages for glissandi and 3 for envelope. The message boxes are run through their own ramp generator and then are combined, 1 glissando, 1 envelope, and 1 sawtooth oscillator. These 3 oscillators add the type of wave. The 3 separate waves are then sent to a scope object to visualize the waves as well as to a gain object to give the user control over the volume, start, and stop of the sound. These controls are then sent to a digital audio converter and then sent to the user's speakers. In this activity, I had difficult building the glissandi in the envelopes. It was difficult getting each glissando to sound natural so that it did not jump during any frequency segment, and in order to resolve this issue, I went back and looked at the other examples in the book and played around with the glissando until I got something that sounded natural. For the envelopes, I had difficulty keeping track of what each value in the message box stood for, so I had to constantly check back in the envelope section so I could keep them straight. In this patch, the K-slider acts as a user input for the pitch. The user can also adjust the MIDI value or the frequency by clicking on that object and moving the box to the desired value. The append object creates a glissando when moving from one note value to the next using the number placed after append to control the time. These values run through a cycle object to create the sine wave, and then this information is sent to the multiplier. The other side of the multiplier is a control for the volume of the sound produced by the K-slider and its subsequent edits. First, the decibel input runs through a decibel to amplitude converter. The amplitude is run through an append and line object before getting sent back to the multiplier. The multiplier then sends these signals to a digital to audio converter and a level meter to show the volume of the spectrum of the sounds coming out of the patch. I ran into an issue where I was losing sound for any decibels below 0 in my patch because I did not have a decimal place in my amplitude box. I was able to edit that in the inspector, and it fixed my issue by allowing the amplitude to be values other than 1 and 0. My corrections for this patch were to move the bang button to the top of the envelope and the print button to the second outlet on the envelope, substitute the phaser object for a digital audio converter, fix the error with the unnamed message box by writing in stop, and adding in a line object. The patch runs through a bang, causing an envelope to be attached via a multiplier to a frequency that is run through a phaser and a triangle wave. The user controls the volume, frequency, start, and stop functions, and the output is a graph on the scope object and a digital audio converter that converts it to the user's speakers. I struggled with the placement of items in Max and couldn't find the second object that I needed to move. I do understand the concept and the issues with interrupting signal flow. However, I'm not fully confident on why the order of placement is important if it's not going to cause a serious issue. I searched the book and consulted with my classmates and have some deeper understanding, but I'm not fully confident.